So usually I do all this in one video, but there's just so much to talk about for the North American Spring Series. I think I'll split it up into two videos. I'll talk about day one today, and then I'll talk about day two, the grand finals, on either tomorrow or on Tuesday, because I don't know when I'm going to upload another news video. Might be in between. But anyways, just so much happened, so many good games. I really want to get into it. First things first, for those of you who don't know, by now, Rogue made it into the Spring Series. Jamal Jabari got disqualified because one of their players was underage. You guys could follow me on Twitter. I pretty much keep you guys up to date with everything that happens, especially regarding things like this. I always retweet stuff or make a tweet of my own. So I'll put my Twitter up on screen if you guys want to follow me on that. Keep up to date. But yeah, obviously, if you guys do enjoy it, hit subscribe. Our channel's been blowing up lately, which has been awesome. On the road to 10,000 subscribers. That's our new goal for the channel. That's just the goal. We're cruising now, and I'm having fun just chilling with you guys. But yeah, let's get right into it. So the very first match of the day was G2 Esports versus Rogue, and now I gotta be honest, Rogue looks the best they have ever have in their competitive history in Rocket League. That was just such a good performance. Unfortunately, they're going up against probably the best team in the world right now, G2 Esports. So they ended up getting swept. But that does not tell the story of that game. They were all one-goal games, every single game. It was just G2 came out on top, and that's obviously just what separates G2 from every other team in North America. Doesn't matter who they are. G2 is just so strong. That game, JNaps was on fire. He was hitting double tap after double tap, man. Rizzo is on. Chicago is striking. He wasn't missing. They were all on. Every single one of them was on fire. And it's just been like that. G2 Esports have been dominating the last 4 tournaments they've been in, and it looks to be a 5th. Arsenal even came out and said that G2 Esports he believes to be the best team in the world, and he's scared of them. Like, he does not want to play them. But yeah, I just got to say something about this Rogue roster. The First Killer and Turnturo combo. Oh my god, they are so good together. I can easily see First Killer and Turnturo becoming the next, like, really powerful duo in North America. They feed each other. They play off each other so well. And Turnturo is great on defense. Like, you definitely, everything that Wonder was lacking, Turnturo not only makes up for, but like tenfold. He's just so solid of a player. It's just, it feels like a privilege to watch Turnturo and First Killer play Rocket League together, because they are a good match, at least from what we've seen so far from them. They play very well. And that's not to say Kronovi didn't play well. Kronovi played, I mean, great. Every single one of them did. It's the best Rogue has ever looked. Like I said, it's just that I think if we're talking about who's the combo, what two players pop off the most, it's Turnturo and First Killer for sure. You can definitely see that they make some insane plays to each other. Like the other day in United versus Rogue, the qualifier tiebreaker, this just insane pass to Turnturo to finish it off in game 3, and then they had another good pass to each other. I think it was in game 1, but both teams a very good showing. And then let's get on to Envy versus 72 PC. Now, for those of you who don't know, Envy, if you don't know by now, Envy is Ghost, okay? Ghost got picked up by Team Envy, a really big esports organization, and now that they have this, and a lot of people are excited to have this big name back in Rocket League. I'm pretty sure they were in an earlier season, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure they were in Rocket League before, and then they left, and then they're back in. But yeah, it was a really good showing. 72 pin connector won the first game. Jacob, this is what I was talking about, that Lion Blaze is very mechanically gifted. He's a very solid player. It's just when Jacob shows up, they play well, and Jacob started that game off with an insane mechanical outplay, scored in the first couple seconds of the game. It was great. They popped off, but then 72 pin connector didn't get worse. They played fine. It's just Team Envy started shutting down everything they were doing, and they won the next 3. They just needed that one warm-up game, it seems. But overall, it was fun to see Jacob play. I haven't seen Jacob play in over a year now, man. It's been way over a year now. It's been a while. It really has been a while. But yeah, and then we move on to the next one, Spacestation Gaming versus Pittsburgh Knights. And Knights, Pittsburgh, nice. Holy shit, this is exactly what I was looking for from you guys. Pittsburgh Knights finally they show up, they pop off, and Reddles. I said this before. I think you guys could see it now. Spacestation definitely isn't looking on at full form at all, but Pittsburgh Knights are. They definitely are. I think the problem with Spacestation Gaming is that they're having a lot of mistouches that we're not used to them having. And on top of that, they were just getting flat out beat to the ball. Pittsburgh Knights straight up outplayed them. So kudos to them. Good for them. Send Spacestation to the losers bracket. Reddles was a monster. Like, Reddles is just insane, man. And you want to know what the real difference maker, though, was for Pittsburgh Knights? It was Gyro. I said it again. I said it in my last predictions video. Gyro is not the third man. He is someone who's born to play a first and second man role. And when they got Gyro on the demo game again, and he popped off, he made key demo plays that really helped the Pittsburgh Knights shine above the rest. And that's exactly what they need. They need to get Gyro, because Reddles is the best player. It's like on G2 Esports. JNaps is the best player, but the team shines when Gyro gets in on it, when Rizzo gets in on it, right? They're both like that. Except with G2, they always get Rizzo in on it. They need to start always getting Gyro in on it, and then they can become a top 3 team in North America again. They're really good, and they're showing that this is probably the best showing they've ever had with this new roster. Again, I still don't think it was the right move. I still don't, and I probably never will. You'll never, at this point, it's taken so long to get going with this roster, you'll never convince me that this was the right roster move, but now they show potential that they can get back up to that point, which is good. It means that the roster move wasn't in vain, or it wasn't completely in vain, right? A bad season, but now you're working your way back up. And then we got NRG Esports versus Charlotte Phoenix. And Charlotte Phoenix, another one of those underdog teams coming in, but not as much of an underdog as 72-pin connector. Charlotte Phoenix, I mean, they show major promise. They like to joke that Charlotte Phoenix is like the gatekeepers of RLCS. Like, if you want to make it to RLCS, you got to go through them because they're always in the promotion tournament. But, you know, they took a game off. And, you know, during the end of their series against NRG Esports, they actually looked very good, but it took them a while to pop off. And if you take that long against a team like NRG to get going, you're not going to win. You just aren't. It wasn't until they scored 1 goal in game. They scored 0 goals, then 1 goal, and it wasn't until game 3 where they actually started scoring goals, and they shut them out 3-0. I think they played very well the 4th game too. It's just NRG played better, and you know, you're not going to win if you take this long to get going. So that was the quarterfinals. Now let's get on to losers round 1, and then we'll get on to the semifinals, because that was the order it went in. We have Rogue versus 72-pin connector, and oh my gosh, again, Rogue just obliterated this team. Rogue was so speedy. Like, Rogue was good in G2 in the game against G2 Esports. Don't get me wrong, but because they weren't playing against G2, they had the ability to really show what they were made of, and they did. I think it's funny how they go from playing the best team arguably in this tournament to arguably the worst team in this tournament. I thought that was kind of funny with Rogue. It's like, no disrespect to 72-pin connector, but let's be honest, I mean, they were the underdogs. We can all agree on that. But yeah, again, just every single one of those players, especially Turo and First Killer, that combo like I've been talking about, I'm really, like, it makes me really happy when a Rogue game is on now, because they just look so good, so fun to watch. Like, the mechanics for Turo are there. Like, they now have two really insane pop-off players, First Killer and Turo. What I think Rogue needs to make sure they do now, which they were doing in this game, they need to make Kronovi take on that Rizzo role, like old G2 style Rizzo, and have him play more that third man. But whenever they need Kronovi to pop off and kind of like get in on the mix, then Kronovi needs to be able to do that. And I think if they can make it that way, have Kronovi kind of take that Rizzo role where, you know, plays back but can come up whenever he needs to, Rogue has a real shot of being a top tier team with this roster. They really do. Now, I truly, sincerely mean that, but they need to work around each of their individual play styles. They got 2 pop. The difference between Rogue and G2 though is that it's not a theory, right? Every time G2 plays, all 3 of them just pop off. That's how G2 is that good right now. They have 3 pop-off players. Rogue, they might. I mean, Rogue's looking good. Rogue is looking good. Let's get on to Spacestation versus Charlotte Phoenix. So yeah, obviously 72 pin connector are out. They're the first team out of Spring Series, and then Space Station versus Charlotte Phoenix. Now these were very good games. Again, like I told you, Charlotte Phoenix took a while to warm up in against NRG, but they also took a while to warm up against Space Station. They pretty much had their asses handed to them the first 2 games, but then the second and third game they started popping off. They were only 1-goal games, the games that they won, but they really showed that they had the potential to take it, and they almost reverse swept Space Station, which is not easy at all. All right, it's Space Station is one of the best teams in the world. You don't almost reverse sweep them unless you're a good team. Unfortunately for Charlotte Phoenix, not only were they up against NRG, but then after that they were up against Space Station, so 2 of the top 3 in North America. You feel as if maybe if they went against some other teams, like maybe Rogue or Envy or 72PC, they would have had a much better shot at prevailing. But unfortunately, they went up against 2 of the top 3 in North America, but they still all around a great showing from them. And Space Station move on, and Charlotte Phoenix are out, and it was kind of scripted. You know, no upsets really happened except the PK versus SSG, which like I said, SSG I thought was on the downhill this whole time, so I wasn't super surprised. However, I was still surprised it was a sweep, right? The thing is, I just didn't really have any faith in PK going into this. I truly didn't. I thought even on SSG being on the downhill, PK still would have taken it. Or, I'm sorry, that SSG still would have taken it. But, wow, PK really did surprise me. They really did. And then let's get on to the last 2, the semifinals. G2 versus Team Envy. And this is where G2 showed that they are here. They are the best team in the world. And I truly believe that G2 are the best team in the world. They dominated. They only lost 1 game today. 1 game, just 1. It was nuts. And only, to be fair, only 1 game got out of hand against Team Envy, and it was game number 2. Also, game number 1, I would like to say G2 looked dominant the whole time. Even though it was a 1-goal game, I never felt for a second game 1 like Team Envy had a chance. But it wasn't until game 3 where they really started to turn it around. And then that 4th game where G2 won, it was close. It was very close. And then that game also went to overtime. The last 2 games went to overtime. Team Envy really turned it around, but at the end of the day, G2 is looking so dominant, and everyone's calling them the best team in the world right now. Arsenal, Gibbs, me, in my opinion, is the only one that matters, right? So G2 is the best team in the world, and I truly believe that. I think, yes, Vitality look extremely well against European players, but I think that if they were to face off, I think G2 would have had a real shot at winning that World Championship this year. So it's pretty sad that it's not going to happen. Hopefully they can keep this momentum going until RLCS Season 10, where we'll have a Worlds again. I mean, I really hope. I know a lot of people want to see G2 get that title. They're probably, in my opinion, G2 is probably the most deserving team of a title that has never won one now, because NRG was that most deserving team, but now they have. So yeah, Vitality's won one. Dig has won plenty in their time. Yeah, maybe SSG, you can make a case for them, but I think G2's just been in it for so long without a title. They're the next team that people are really going to be shooting for to get that title. PK versus NRG, and PK again comes out so strong, dominant. I mean, they were dominating NRG. I'm sorry, Reddles is dominating NRG. But, I mean, Reddles he looked like the only guy on the field sometimes. And the reason I say that is because of what happened after the first 2 games. The first 2 games, yeah, everyone was getting involved, getting together. But after that, man, they only scored 2 goals the last 3 games. Only scored 2. Because NRG, when they popped off, they just destroyed PK. And I said this in my last video too. NRG are on the uphill. And when I say that, I don't mean like on the uphill from their World Championship days in Season 8. I mean, they did go on a big downhill from that, but they plateaued, and now during league play, now they're slowly climbing up that hill again. They're not back to their former glory World Championship Season 8 days, but they're still very, very good, and they're getting better. They're showing it. I think that their ability to come back against the PK roster, who's looking so dominant, the best they ever have with this specific roster, shows that NRG really are on the comeback. And then finally, the final match of the day, Rogue versus PK. Oh my god, Rogue reverse sweep PK. Rogue is looking the best they ever have in history. Guys, I said it. There's not a lot to say. Rogue is just looking so good. It really sucks for PK because they got reverse swept twice in one day. And, you know, they could have easily, I mean, kind of been in the winners finals. The way that they're playing, it's just, I guess it just be like that sometimes. But yeah, Rogue fans are going to be super happy. And yeah, so tomorrow in the winners finals, we get to see G2 versus NRG, baby. That's going to be so nice to watch. It's going to be insane to watch. And I'm not going to do predictions because this video has been long enough. It's been almost 20 minutes. Well, I've almost been recording for 20 minutes. I'll probably cut it down to 15 minutes. But you know what? I could do a really quick prediction. I think G2 wins this whole thing. I really do. The way they're playing, they just look so strong. They're going up against this Envy roster, the best we've ever seen Rogue play ever, and they're just making them look like they're third-class teams. You know, some people could easily debate that no, the best we've ever seen Rogue play was when they got top 4 in Worlds, but I'm telling you, this Rogue roster, what we're seeing right now, this is, in my opinion, the best. Like, yes, they made it to Worlds before, but I think they look better than that right now, at least from what we've seen in day one. All right, that's obviously my opinion, but I think this is the new best Rogue. G2 now are 2 games away from taking the grand finals. Well, so are NRG, actually. You know, anything could happen, but I think it'll be G2. I really do. But yeah, it's gonna be some good ones tomorrow. Well, today when this video comes out. So yep, thank you guys for watching. And if you guys do enjoy, as always, hit subscribe. We're on the road to 1 billion subscribers. First channel in the world to hit 1 billion. It's gonna happen. We're gonna make it happen, baby. But yep, I'll see you guys. Peace.